It doesn't even look like an animated film. It just looks like real fur. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know anything about animation. Turning Red, a new Pixar movie that was sort of on my radar, sort of not. I didn't really know a lot about this film going into it, but it should absolutely be near the very top of your watch list. Turning Red is a film about a young girl, Mei Mei, who randomly wakes up one day with the ability to turn into a giant red panda. This ability completely reliant upon whatever her emotional state is. She gets too emotional, she turns into a giant red panda. That is really all I want to say without giving away too much of what makes the movie so special. I absolutely loved this film. I think over the last few years, there have been instances of Pixar sort of finding what made them special all those years ago. And while for a little while there was a stretch where a lot of their films to me felt sort of the same and kind of like they were losing the creativity that used to make them so special, with films like Soul and Luca, two films which I really loved, and Turning Red, it is clear that Pixar is absolutely back. I gotta mention, Pixar is really good at their animation. They're one of the best animation studios in the world. But what they are able to do with the fur on this red panda, it's like photorealistic. It doesn't even look like an animated film. It just looks like real fur. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know anything about animation, but the fur, when you see the panda and they get like close-ups, like they know what they're doing. Pixar knows what they're doing. They know it looks good. They want to show it off. It's so impressive. Go back and look at what Toy Story 1 looked like, and then come to Turning Red, and you will see how far Pixar has come. It is absolutely incredible how far their animation has come. One of the other things that there is to love about this film, aside from Mei Mei, who is a fantastic protagonist, is the characters around her. You could potentially complain about the fact that she's got 3 friends, right? And they're all great, but 2 of them sort of seem like emotions from inside out, like they seem very one-dimensional, and they sort of expand on one of them a tiny bit, but not that much, so they don't feel as 3-dimensional as her 3rd friend, who feels like just a more fleshed out character in general. I think sometimes with films where there's a little bit more of an ensemble cast, sometimes it's tough to make everybody feel super original and fleshed out characters, but there was something I noticed that I wasn't crazy about, but at the same time, you could tell that they were trying to cover a lot in a film like this, so I wouldn't hold it against them too much. At the core of Turning Red is the relationship between Mei Mei and her mother, and it is pretty complicated, but most notably, this is a film about a daughter and her mother attempting to find a way to connect. Both of them are struggling how to best understand the other. One of the best aspects of Turning Red is that it is a film about telling people to embrace what makes them them. Embrace what makes you, you. And that is a message that I think is really important. It's a message that I'm glad Pixar is putting out there now. And it's just a beautiful film. Like, from an emotional point of view, this film is beautiful. The story that they are telling and the message they're putting forth is absolutely fantastic. And it makes the film that much better that it's got so much heart throughout the entire thing. There are some genuine laugh out loud moments in this movie. At least I thought they were funny. I feel like if I'm embracing myself, then I'm going to say if I think it's funny, it's funny. Oh, and also the music in this film slaps. It goes so hard. This soundtrack is so good. The music in Pixar films is usually pretty high up there, but in Turning Red specifically, the soundtrack of this film, absolutely phenomenal. Also, stay for the credits. There's an after credits scene that is worth it. It's worth watching. It's really good. And the credits in general of this movie are fantastic. It's really exciting to see the direction Pixar is going with a lot of these films. I don't really know why Disney keeps banishing them to Disney Plus and kind of turning them into streaming only movies. Turning Red is any indication, and Luca and Soul and those more recent movies, I am all in on their next project. I can't wait to see what other stories Pixar has to tell.